Hello and welcome to the year 2022. It's January 2nd, and one of the questions that seems to filter through to me is, what is my purpose? What is my life purpose? What am I down here for? And that's a good question. And to be honest with you, I probably couldn't answer what your life purpose was in particular, but I can say that every soul picks the lesson that they're going to learn on this earth. We are victims of our own choices. Now, if you're a young person and you're asking that question, what is my life purpose? Usually it's a career direction. You want to know where your life is headed, where it's going, what a particular relationship, how that's going to end and whatnot. You're actually too young to be really questioning that, because when people usually question their life purpose, it's because they've spent a lot of life here. You get it from 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds. Probably Grandma Moses asked that question when she was in her 80s and she started painting. But the point I'm trying to make is, if our life did not turn out as well as we expected, know that it has. Know that no matter what your good or bad experiences were so far, every experience is added to your overall soul and what you become. You became something as a result of your good and your bad experiences. You look at some person and you say, why did they choose a life of crime, that they're always in prisons? And, well, I don't know, but I can tell you that the soul picked that to learn some particular lesson. Who knows? Maybe what it is to be unhappy as a result of stealing something. Anybody who steals something from another person, another company, a bank, whatever, is never happy. Trust me. They could steal $1 million, $10 million. They still won't be happy. So that soul may have that lesson to learn and say, look, in my former life, I always wanted to be wealthy. I always wanted to have money. But now I have money and I'm not happy. I don't want to get into money and its significance in the soul's lesson, but money is a vehicle. Lack of money. More money than you need. And it's all part of your soul's life purpose. I get questions like, why am I always giving and I'm never receiving? What's the point of being good? Well, giving is probably the most spiritual act you could possibly do. It's when you have expectation, that's when it becomes lower in value, because you expect something back in return. So if you have a life purpose as a giver, love it. Love it. If you give just to feel happy, fine. That's wonderful. Just give. You'll always get it back. I always used to say to people, the more you worry about money, the less you'll have. And that's true. Because you'll build a wall into receiving the need for you to give. Let's put it that way. I don't even know if I'm making any sense, but that question about the life purpose is very complicated. When I hear about people, most people ask me about their life purpose when they're having a bad life, or what they perceive as a bad life, or perceive as a lonely life, or perceive as a life of struggle. People who have a good life, they tend less to question their life purpose. If you have a hard life right now, this was something that your soul chose because it had to learn a lesson. I know a woman who just has bad luck every turn, and she'll always say to me, why is this happening to me? I'm good, I give, I treat people, I take care of animals, blah, 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 blah. And I'll say, that's because you expect something. Because if you just did that, and you didn't question the giving, you wouldn't be asking about that. If you've had a bad experience and you conquered it, because obviously if you're asking me that question, you're over it, then you shouldn't be questioning why these experiences come to you. The more spiritual you are, the harder the experience. The more spiritual you are, the harder the experience. Life is like school, okay? You don't repeat the third grade every year. You repeat some, you go into the third grade, you learn arithmetic, and you say, wow, I learned that much. And then the school says, you got to go in fourth grade. We're going to give you a lot more harder questions, a lot more harder arithmetic. It doesn't get easier. But the thing that you have to remember is that each time you're down here with a challenge, it's because your soul conquered something in the life before. And now it's going to conquer something too. So it only gets better. I mean, yes, going through school was always hard. Some of us liked it, some of us didn't. Some of us like snow days. And occasionally in our life purpose, we do get some snow days where something may be overturned. A bad situation might really ameliorate itself, lessen itself, and you're like, ooh, this is good. But you will always learn something in school, and you will always appreciate what you've learned. So every time you come down to this earth, you can come down with a life purpose that you've chosen. And it's very hard to absorb that concept. When I tell people that, it's like, Angela, you're blaming everything on me, and this is not my fault. But yes, it is. Even when I go through my problems, I say, how the heck did I get myself in this? And I'm like, oh, I chose it. So just remember, any lesson, whether it was challenging or rewarding, good experiences have the ripple effect as well with other people, and it also adds to the soul. So try to look within yourself. 9 times out of 10, you'll realize if you go over the process of a challenging experience, you'll realize what went wrong or right with that experience. And then, of course, you have to ask yourself, well, how did I handle it? And we're our own judge and jury, so there's nobody judging us if we fail to achieve the life purpose at that time. But one thing you should remember is that if you don't learn from that lesson, you'll be forced to repeat it. It's like, I don't know, going over your homework 15,000 times to find out why you're still making this error. Or staying in the third grade 3 years. It's all a matter of perception. So look within your life. You'll notice, and this is This is only purely for you. You'll notice where you went wrong, where you went right. Um, who were the people? Whenever you have a life purpose and you come down to this earth, there are people assigned, other souls that may learn from you, or you could do a swap, or you could do something, because you do know and you are aware of it, that there are people in your life that you're meant to have, okay? Sometimes they come in from left field, but your family, your extended family, friends, they're all part of the group, the study group, let's call it a study group since we're talking about school, that you chummed up with in heaven. Okay, so you signed up with them. Oh, I have to learn not to be selfish. Ooh, 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 I'm a giver. I'm a giver. I can help you out with that. Or, well, actually, maybe a taker. Somebody else who's selfish. Oh, I can help you out for that. Or if you lack forgiveness, well, you don't have to search for people who will test your forgiveness skills, but you're brought together with a group of people. So essentially, the life purpose is whatever the lesson you have to learn in this life. And people always say, oh, when is it going to end? Well, it's going to end when you're 6 feet under. So, and you have to hope that you finished your life lesson, because then when you go back up there, you'll say, oh, I forgot about this. I forgot to do this. Then you got to go back down and do it over again. So never question an experience. Yes, you're allowed to curse at it. You're allowed to mumble. You're allowed to get angry. But make it short, because you have to do your homework. Bye-bye. Happy New Year.